Hey guys, welcome back to Guadalupe Mountains National Park. And today I am on my way up Guadalupe Peak. Haven't been up here in a few years. And it's pretty warm outside right now. It's toward the 1st of August. And got full sunshine out today. It's going to be a long, hot hike. And I'm going to take my time, make it up there, and camp at the Guadalupe Peak Campsite tonight. So my pack weight for this trip is 79.7 ounces, so just under 5 pounds for my pack weight, including my phone and tripod and all my base weight stuff in my pack. But I'm also carrying 8 liters of water and a few days worth of food. So although my pack only weighs 5 pounds, once you add that other stuff in, I'm up to almost 30 pounds. Probably the heaviest super ultralight pack going these days. I just made it to the junction with the horse trail for Guadalupe Peak and thought I'd stop and take a break. Pretty much anywhere there's been a tree casting a shadow on the trail, you find somebody taking a break under it. It is real hot and sunny today. You can see Pine Springs campground down there. Not really all that full. It's a Sunday, about middle of the day, so I don't know if the campground's going to be full or not. It's been full the last couple times I've come out here. Really hazy day. Could barely even see the mountains from the other side of Carlsbad on my way in. Not too windy, just a slight breeze. Feels pretty nice. See Nipple Hill out there on the other side of the wash. Beautiful day. It's about to go around this little bend and it's going to be pretty steep on the way down. Give you a shot of what that looks like. You got this rock wall to your left. Here's the trail in front of you. And then there's the drop off. Not too far of a drop, maybe 1,000-foot fall. You might make it. Just made it around the bend over this little crest. At our first look farther up into Pine Spring Canyon. You can see a Tejas trail on the other side headed up. And our trail is still headed up this way. Just made it over the crest of the first ridge and take our first view of the forested section of Guadalupe Peak Trail. Still don't think you can see the summit from here, but we're about to get a little more shade, and the trail, it's not gonna be level, but it'll definitely level off a little bit. Won't be quite as steep. Well, I've been hiking for a little over an hour, about an hour and 15 minutes. So I'd say I'm probably a little over a couple miles in. And you can't really tell how high up you are judging on the trail you're on. But if you look straight across over there at the Hunter Peak side, you can kind of tell how much higher you need to go, because you're going to be even higher than that peak straight over there. It's really neat making it into the forested section. Got that pine scent in the air. Smells really nice. Got a nice shade here. Stop and take a break for about 10 minutes. Tree's starting to get a little bit bigger. You got several dead ones right here in this area. Well, I made it to the trail for the Guadalupe Peak Campsites. They're several hundred yards off the main trail, and this is what this area looks like. It's getting kind of grassy, kind of sparse pine trees, and you got about a mile to go till you get to the summit of the peak. So I'm actually going to come this way and drop my stuff. Well, not all my stuff. Drop some of my water and probably set up my tarp at one of the sites. Take a quick break, eat lunch, and then continue on up the last mile to the summit. Well, I just made it over to the Guadalupe Peak Campsites. Just thought I'd give you your first shot of Guadalupe Peak. Got another mile to go from here, like I said. But that's your view from the campsites. Shumert over there. See down toward the Hunter Peak side. I'm gonna go grab a campsite. Here's the view from the other side of the Guadalupe Peak Campsites, looking down toward the visitor center. Well, for lunch I mixed up a half-liter of Gatorade, got some salmon in a foil packet, just some chips, some Pringles, and fruit leather. Took me a little bit to get my Gaywood cape set up. I'll give you a shot of what that looks like here in a little bit after I get my sleeping bag and things like that down in there. Gonna enjoy this lunch, and that group that was here actually just took off, so right now I'm the only one at this campground. I did pass some people on the way in that were carrying sleeping bags, so I'm assuming they're coming here. But for now I got the whole place to myself. So I'm back on the trail now. Really not very far at all from the Guadalupe Peak campsite. Come around the bend, and here is the famous bridge on the Guadalupe Peak Trail. Highest bridge in the state of Texas. There's a shot of the bridge from the other side. And we got a little less than a mile to go up to the peak. Haven't even gotten to show you the most famous rock formation out here at Guadalupe Mountains yet. El Capitan will be coming into view here shortly. There's the bridge just from across the way. Check this view out. Looking out into West Texas. Just started the switchbacks for the final push up to the summit. It's real strange. Passed a bunch of people when I first started this trail. Some people already coming down, had been up. Early morning push, I guess. And then I passed a whole bunch of people coming up. All within the first probably 15-20 minutes I'd started hiking. And since then I've seen one person on the trail. Saw those people at the campsite. I've passed one person coming down on the trail. So either everybody's hanging out at the top, or they hadn't quite made it up here yet. But I haven't seen anybody. Pretty wild. Good view of the Tejas Trail, straight across, where it crests right into the bowl, that more thickly forested area right there in the middle. One of the prettiest places out here. If you're not sure exactly what to do when you're coming to Guadalupe Mountains, definitely check out the bowl. And that, of course, is Hunter Peak over there, 6th highest peak in Texas. First 4 highest peaks are on the ridge that I'm going up now, and then the 5th highest is in the Davis Mountains, just a little bit south of here. And there you go. There's your first views of El Cap. Get a little bit better shot from the summit. Really not too far away. Gonna go up a few more switchbacks. That's the summit up there. Real close to the summit. I can tell there's several people up there, so I just stopped here to take in this view. Catch El Capitan. You can see the El Capitan Trail farther down in the foothills. There's the salt flats over there. You can see a couple circular crop fields from the farmers out at Del City. And right up there, that's the summit. It's a view looking over at Schumert and Bush, down into Pine Springs Canyon. There's a trail we came up on the way here. Campground's right over there on that knob. Well, I made it to the top. There's the famous summit marker. And just some outstanding views off the top. Wish it wasn't quite so hazy, but still awesome views. 360 all the way around, back into the other side of the range. There's a couple ladies from Alpine here, or 3 of them actually. Whenever I got up here, talked to them for a while, took some pictures. Really nice ladies, and got them to take some pictures of me by the summit marker. Took a bunch of them, and now I'm trying to decide whether I want to tackle El Cap or not. It's either head back to the campsite and just chill all afternoon, or try to make the off-trail trek up to the summit of El Capitan. Just all basin dunes down there. They don't look like much from up here, but really neat view down there in the dunes looking back this way. Really neat experience to have it all to myself up here. I imagine there would be about 20 people up here. You've seen a lot of pictures like that. But really, besides early this morning, not too terribly many people on the trail. It's been pretty nice. I'm gonna walk out on this point that comes off the main summit. Check out the views down below, see what we can see. A little different view of El Cap. Looking down on the foothills, down where the El Capitan Trail runs. There's Bone Canyon. You can see Williams Ranch House, or I can see it. You might not can see in the video, but right down there where the canyon opens up, Williams Ranch House. This is Schumert Canyon. This is the canyon that the El Capitan Trail goes down, and then there's a campsite called Schumert Campsite down there. It's a really neat campsite. Totally different than anything else you'll see out here. Unique perspective of Schumert Peak itself. Really cool. Well, originally I had hoped to summit Guadalupe Peak and El Capitan on this trip. I actually was thinking about doing El Cap and then going up Guadalupe Peak afterward, but I decided to do it the other way around so I could get a better view down from Guadalupe Peak and pick out a route, which I did, but I don't think I have the stamina left in my legs to make it all the way there. I took about, I don't know, 30 yards off trail, and my legs just, all that descent and then to ascend up to El Capitan, then back down, back to the Guadalupe Peak Trail. I don't think I had it in me. So it's gonna take it nice and easy back down to my campsite and just have a nice easy evening. Wanted to stop and give some love to these forested sections. It's one, I really appreciate the shade, but 2, it's just really cool to come through here whenever you've been out on the hot, dry, rocky mountains. You round the corner, go through some tall pine trees. It's a really neat experience out here in West Texas. I don't even know if I mentioned in all this that Guadalupe Peak is the Texas State high point. I think I might have left that out. I've done it before. This is my second time up Guadalupe Peak. First time I did it with my wife a few years ago. And so it was another state high point. I've done 4 state high points in the last month or so. And each one of them different. This one definitely way different than, say, Elbert in Colorado. very unique state high point for Texas. Until the advent of Facebook, I would say most Texans wouldn't have known what the state high point was or what it looked like. It seems like Guadalupe Peak has become very popular, which is cool. It's cool to get people outside, get people here. But just take for instance the summit log book was brand new, put there on August 1st, I think, and it is several pages in. I don't know, I'd say probably 10 to 15 pages in worth of signatures and little messages. So a lot of people have been up, which is really cool because today's a Sunday, and like I said, after the first little bit of the trail, I can hardly see anybody. So it's kind of like being alone. And the couple people I did see and talk to, everyone's been really nice, which is always cool on these trips. So there's the bridge, middle of the shot, and then my campsite is just over that little grassy hill back in those trees. Not too far to go. I thought I'd show you a little bit of my setup. I ended up moving my tarp from the site I was at down here to one with a made up windbreak. I didn't realize those people were leaving earlier when I picked my site, so I moved down to a better site. Anyway, I got my gatewood cape set up. Got to pitch pretty low to the ground because it's going to be pretty windy. And I just have a Costco quilt, Gossamer gear, thin light 1/8 inch pad. Got a little medical pillow, basically is what it is, from Jacks or Better. And then just a small piece of polycryo film or plastic for my ground sheet, and just staying out under the gatewood cape as a tarp tonight. And I'm not expecting any rain, so hopefully this is a pretty decent shelter setup. And so far it's looking like I'm going to be the only one in this campground. Another thing that may be important to mention is I have AT&T, and on the peak and also here at the campsite I have cell phone reception, so that's definitely something to keep in mind. So I just stepped probably 50 yards away from my campsite, and this is the view. Definitely one of the better views of all the campsites I've stayed at here. Really something. Sometimes I forget that I'm on an ancient coral reef till I see cool fossils like that in the rocks. Well, kind of boring evening. I just laid under the tarp for a while. I think I might have dozed off for a few minutes, and I went and carried some water up to the ridge right over here and looked off over toward Hunter Peak and the Tejas Trail, which is absolutely beautiful, especially as the sun's starting to go down. Don't really have any big plans for tonight. I did bring some Knob Creek with me, some bourbon, so might have a little bit of that, and have some dinner here in a little bit. That's pretty much it. Not a whole lot going on here tonight. Starting to get pretty windy though. I lowered the back corners of my tarp, try to keep the wind from getting in, shove my backpack up underneath there. Hopefully block as much wind as possible. Wasn't this windy earlier, it's just really started to pick up. Hopefully I don't get too cold tonight.